Alright guys, so we are moving on to the next episode of Dragon Ball Super. We've hit episode 102, The Power of Love Explodes, Universe 2's Little Witch Warriors. So, I actually did enjoy this episode, like most of the episodes of the Universal Survival Arc at this point. There's still only the two that were really kind of lackluster in my opinion. All the rest have fulfilled a purpose. Now, I actually didn't look and see what a lot of the reaction was to this episode like I usually do before I record these. I did see one person say that they thought the episode was lackluster. Now, in terms of why people would feel that way, I do think I understand why. So let's just jump right into it. The first, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes of this episode, right? So basically, like, I watch these episodes on Crunchyroll, and each episode, the whole thing is about like 23 minutes and like 30 seconds. That includes the intro, the outro, the next episode preview, and also the episode itself. Now, this opening scene goes almost until the 10-minute mark, where the three, beautiful warriors of Universe 2 are doing their magical girl transformation. Now, this is meant to be a parody of kind of, think of like the magical girl stuff, like, Sailor Moon, things along those lines, where these characters do these long, drawn out transformations into like, the magical girl, the pretty warriors, all of that stuff. And I mean, it is great. I really did enjoy it because we start out where they begin transforming, right? And we get maybe a full minute. And, like, they're about to finish, and Goku is getting excited, like, oh, they're getting a lot stronger, and a blast comes out of nowhere and, like, kind of disrupts their transformation, and it's Android 17, and he says, they were wide open, what's the matter? And it's great because Goku is like, oh, no, 17, they said they were gonna power up, we gotta let them finish that. And it's funny because the boy Topo jumps in out of nowhere and he's like, I agree, transforming is justice. And 17 relents and allows them to then transform. So it's weird because like Topo, like it's a comedy gag scene. Again, to me, this feels like a scene like that Toriyama specifically wrote because like, a lot of people are aware of it now, how he kind of like will create kind of like bullet points for each arc, and he'll give them to Toyotaro for the manga, and then he'll give it to Toei for the anime. So like, he would say, Trunks loses to Goku Black, then the next point is Trunks goes to the past, and then the next point would be, Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks go to the future to fight Goku Black. Goku Black, reveals Super Saiyan Rose, Goku and Vegeta retreat. It's kind of like that. Like, not every detail is filled in, just bullet points of what happens. To me, this feels like one of the bullet points that Toyotaro gave. Or, not, Toriyama gave, where this whole drawn out scene where there's the transformations, 17, kind of halts it, and then they redo their transformation. This feels like something straight out of Dragon Ball, so I did really enjoy this. I could understand a lot of people not liking this, and then also the fact that, again, this does take up almost 10 minutes. Now, this is fine for me, too, because, again, I get the feeling we might not even be halfway through the Tournament of Power yet. Like, this is clearly going to be going on for a while. Non-stop fighting. Any shortcuts or, things that the animators have to do to maybe relieve some pressure off themselves or, just kind of help out overall, I'm totally okay with. I don't mind reused animation and all that stuff, because to me, like, the Tournament of Power has looked great. I've had no complaints whatsoever, and a little reused animation here or there is not a fucking big deal at all. So the three warriors of Universe 2 complete their transformation. We have Ribrianne, then we also have Kakunsa, and finally Rosie. Now, it is interesting because, they have this long outdrawn transformation, and, like, we see a lot of reactions from the various universes of, like, dudes who are kind of enthralled by, how good they think they look or not. Krillin actually mentions that, it looks like they were cuter before they transformed, which was really funny. So at this point, Ribrianne kind of jumps straight up into the air and creates like this, I don't know, kind of like this big explosion. All of these kind of like heart energy blasts kind of cover the battlefield, and it creates like this aroma, which basically, I guess, like, it kind of like triggers like lust or something. So like, if the if the warrior is horny and wants to fuck the girl, like, he'll get enthralled by it. And like, we see that like this doesn't work on anyone of Universe 7. Obviously, like, Frieza doesn't give a shit, Goku doesn't give a shit, Gohan, none of them are like really, taken in by this sort of like, I don't know, lust after these warriors. And then even Whis says the one person that we had to worry about the most is fine as well. And we see Roshi kind of like, yes. And then we see a shot of Poir and that sexy ass girl Poir transformed into. And Roshi says that our training paid off. So good thing Roshi did undertake that training to get rid of his perversion, so to speak. And we even see Tien is like, oh, bravo, Master Roshi. Like, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I don't really understand why exactly they decide to, but Gohan says that they're running out of space in that little formation they've been holding, and says from this point on, we'll all go off and fight independently. Now, I don't know why Gohan decided to do that now, but sure, I guess whatever, that's gonna happen. Now, Dragon Ball Super, at this point, they can't miss any opportunity to suck Jiren off. Like, Jiren had better be a beast, because literally every time we see him, like, the shot is framed as though he is, like, the biggest fucking big dick pimp in the world. Because, like, he walks up, one of these little heart blasts comes at him, he just knocks that shit the fuck out of there, and then he raises his hand and he's gonna shoot Ribrianne, who's been, causing all these heart explosions with the aroma covering the entire battlefield. And right as Jiren goes to actually shoot that down, Vegeta actually gets it first, and he shoots Ribrianne out of the sky and says, like, this is all your transformation allowed you, huh? So at this point, Vegeta and Ribrianne, they start battling intensely, and all the different warriors of Universe 2 also begin fighting various different people in the Tournament of Power. Now, what we see here is actually, this is like the intro shot that we saw where, Super Saiyan Vegeta was battling Ribrianne. Now, I was really excited because, again, I thought we were going to get like a long, drawn-out battle between Vegeta and Ribrianne. One of the big things they were showcasing in the intro, I was kind of hoping and thinking we were going to get, maybe like a 2 or 3 episode long battle with Vegeta and Ribrianne. Like, while they're fighting, other things are happening. Goku and Hit are fighting people in, the next episode. Well, meanwhile, in the background, Vegeta and Ribrianne are still going on. Like, I thought that would have been really cool, but really, after this point, like, they kind of have their little back and forth, and Ribrianne kind of turns in like this, she turns into like a ball, and like kind of starts doing like a rolling attack, actually kind of similar to what like Super Buu is doing all the time. And Vegeta kind of jumps out of the way and is like, oh, I was so disgusted I reflexively dodged. And then like that's it, like that's all we see with Vegeta versus Ribrianne. And it's like, damn, I was kind of really looking forward to that. Fuck. Now, Rosie is actually pushing Goku back with the Yachina Fist, which I was like, okay, that's an interesting name. And it's kind of like where, as she punches continuously, like, her attacks get, like, stronger and sharper, and she creates, like, these energy balls while punching, and, like, they shoot at Goku. But again, like, it kind of, like, cuts off right there. Like, we don't see too much more of these two battling. Basically, what the rest of the episode is actually Android 17 versus Kakunsa. I actually did really like this fight, and they really, I think, did this to show us just exactly how strong Android 17 is now. Now, this fighter, Kakunsa, like, she's kind of like a feral beast type warrior, and she's constantly like leaping and attacking 17, trying to cut him, slash him, all types of different things. And we see like 17 is kind of just like slowly dodging her attacks, and like, she's able to kind of like bounce off the rubble, because remember the Tournament of Power like stage was badly damaged by Kale going on her rampage, so there's like these caverns and these crevices all over, and she's like jumping back and forth between all of these while actually attacking Android 17, and like she speeds up and she begins actually hitting 17, like not really like full on like ass blasting him, but she is like cutting him up. And like, you kind of get the shot of her like thinking that she's about to finish it off, and she's like, "Oh, I've got you now, fucker." And she charges him, and right around this point, I was thinking too, like, well, why doesn't Android 17 just, and at that moment, he pops open his barrier and catches her in it. And like 17, like, he's such a cocky fuck. I don't know, I really like 17. I'm glad they brought him back, and not just brought him back, but, he's on that god level all of a sudden now. And he has her caught in the barrier and like kind of reveals that he was kind of playing around with her a little bit. And then he kind of spins his barrier, and then it shoots Kakunsa off, out of the ring of the Tournament of Power stage. Now, Kakunsa is actually about to be KO'd, but one of the winged fighters, Vikal of Universe 2, actually saves her. I said this before, but this is like this character right here is like a borderline succubus. Like, this is like a fucking hentai character coming out here. And like, she manages to save Kakunsa by like catching her and flying her back into the ring. And at that point, like, Kakunsa is able to like, be thrust back at 17 and absolutely like obliterates him, and like he goes flying, hardcore, hits rubble, there's a big explosion. One problem with Dragon Ball Super that I feel is a problem that could be easily fixed is they don't have good sound effects for like impacts of hits. Like, I remember I saw it was a video of Goku versus Gohan. Remember they had that battle in like episode 90 or something like that? And it was a really good fight. And I saw someone had edited it to just put Dragon Ball Z sound effects on all of the hits. And it just makes the fight more intense with the, the boom, boom, boom going back and forth. And the impact for 17 getting hit here actually did kind of feel like that. Like you felt that impact. Now, 18 walks up to 17 and kind of like taunts him a little bit, like, "Oh, you doing okay?" And 17 says that, well, she's so beast-like that I got distracted by her, and I started thinking about the animals on the island. I do like that 17 has this thing now where it's like, the animals on the island are so precious to him, and she being a beast-like warrior kind of distracted him, and then he's like, "But I'm over it now. Now she's about to get her ass bodied." And at this point, 17 like gets serious, and he like starts moving so fast and is like absolutely fucking her up. And at a certain point, like, Ribrianne actually jumps in to help her, and she says, like, "No, fuck off. This guy is my prey. I'll take 17 down." And 17 kind of does this thing where he leaps high up, and he kind of, like, shoots a blast, and it propels him on top of, like, the light that was kind of, like, over the Tournament of Power, like, arena. And the Daishinkan and Zeno-sama say it's allowed for 17 to actually stand on it. And he kind of hits Kakunsa with, I guess, what is presumably one of his strongest attacks right now, which is, it just looks like a generic yellow blast, like a photon blast or something, and it absolutely obliterates her and actually rings her out, and she's defeated. Now, Goku sees this and says, "Wow, that was really impressive. 17 did not do something like that when we fought on that island." So not only was Goku obviously holding back when fighting 17, but 17 never even had to get serious either. So, I mean, it does certainly look to me like 17, we can comfortably say he is on the power level of like Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Like 17 is for real on that god scale. So I would like to see now what Gohan can do, because as of this moment, I'm firmly on the side that 17 is stronger than Gohan. I want to see what exactly Gohan is capable of doing, because this was a very impressive showing by 17, and that barrier of his is like a real problem. Like that, it was able to sustain against, Super Saiyan Blue Goku's Kamehameha, and he actually used it to defeat a fighter here, so very good. Now, that is actually how the episode ends. Ribrianne gets infuriated that one of the three magical girls was defeated, and you see her kind of like powering up and saying that she's full of rage, and like the episode ends with her like having a stare off with Android 17, and I was like, oh, okay. 17, I'm really enjoying 17. I really like I actually saw Azure, one of the guys who's been watching my content for the longest, always comments. I love him. And he did mention one time that he did not see the fascination with 17, that he's just a cocky punk. And that is true, but I do think 17 is like a good balance for Universe 7, because his attitude is one that not a lot of the other members of Universe 7 have, I guess, aside from Vegeta. But Vegeta's is like pride and arrogance, whereas 17 is more just like, ambivalence. But like, I don't know. I like it. 17, so far, I've really enjoyed like all of the time he's been on screen, except for the episode where him and Goku were in space. That episode kind of sucked, to be honest. And then the last thing we see here, this is great. I caught a massive erection when this happened. The narrator says there are 39 minutes remaining until all of the universe's fates are decided and the Tournament of Power ends. So, what that means is that these 6 episodes, this is the 6th episode where they've actually been fighting in the Tournament of Power. They've been in the World of Void for now 7 episodes. And there has only been 9 minutes that have gone by. So right now, we are very close to that 1 episode per minute pace. That really makes me excited. So far, this Tournament of Power is good. I really like this episode. I do like seeing Android 17 fight. I look forward to seeing how 17 is going to possibly lose. Maybe someone powerful like Topo or Jiren or something. Like, the Tournament of Power, thumbs up in my book so far. What do you guys think? Are you liking Tournament of Power? Let me know.